Welcome. Welcome, Michael. Welcome, VJ, Barty, Michael T. and Michael Kajawa and Michael, Mark Spencer. Rose Margin, Belgium. Well, we have Belgium and Netherlanders, Bulgarians, Bolivians, Brazilians, people from all over the world. It's wonderful. Welcome. Welcome. I love you all. Know that I love you all. What if you were to waken one day and know absolutely nothing? To be dumb as a rock. To have a brick in your brain instead of your brain. I try to do this every day. Be dumb as a rock. The sixth patriarch, the quote I remember most from him is, the only truth is that there is no truth. Beware even of this truth. The only truth is that there is no truth. Beware even of this truth. You know, concepts and words, ideas, paragraphs and sentences are ideas with pointers pointing at something in your environment. Please get me a cup of tea. Puts in your mind a suggestion. I want something. Can you give it to me? The object is a tea and a cup. And depending on your inclinations, you fulfill it or not. Now, in our conventional world, like one of cups of teas and automobiles, there is such a thing as truth, or relatively so, because it's all conventional. It's all dictated by society, by our education, by our family history, and we know what a table means. We know what an automobile means. But it gets a little murkier when we talk about relationship. What does a relationship mean? What does love mean? What does surrender mean? What does God mean? What am I? What is that feeling of I-ness? Is that real or not real? What about the ecstatic love I feel towards another person? Is it real or is it not real? Human relationships are murky. They're muddy. They're not set in crystal. They vary from hour to hour and day to day, depending on our feelings, depending on what our heart says, what our gut says, what our genitals say. It varies by the minute, by the second, by the hour, by the day. Did she say the right thing? Did she get me angry? Does she love me? Does he love me? How do I know that he loves me? How do I know that she loves me? Because she says so, because he says so. It's murky. We're always looking for clues as to what the real is, and never being comfortable in knowing the truth. So, what if there is no truth? What if everything we say is a finger pointing at the moon, but with no moon? There are just fingers pointing in all different directions. Then truth takes on a different meaning. When there is no truth, there are only stories with various degrees of reality, like atomic physics. Has anybody ever seen an atom? Have you seen an atom? Have you seen an electron? You see light, but is it a reasonable theory that it's a photon generated when an electron changes orbit around an atom because of excitation from some external light force? That makes no sense to me whatsoever. Sounds like bullshit to me. And yet I grew up studying that kind of bullshit. Now I believe nothing. But I make up stories, not because they're true, but because they convey a feeling, an emotion, a mind state, a feeling state, a spiritual state, like ecstasy. You see, much of the time I feel ecstasy. But I can talk about it. I can talk about the spiritual meaning of it. I could say it has no meaning whatsoever. Or I could try to give it to you directly through my voice, the timbre of my voice, the cadence of my voice, the tone of my voice, and the words I speak. I tell you that within each of you, just below the surface, is such a vast amount of ecstasy, of energies. If only you could relax your muscles and your minds to feel these energies within you. I like to point first to your heart. Feel into the area of your heart. Feel when you breathe in that your rib cage expands. Your diaphragm goes up or down when you exhale. Feel the muscles between the ribs tighten when you breathe in, relax when you breathe out. Feel the tension in your shoulders and these muscles here and in the deltoids. Most people have tension there. It clamps down on feeling. If you can relax those muscles by sitting still, feeling the tension in the muscles, and you can begin feeling ecstasy in that tension in the muscles of your deltoids. Search all over your body for tension. And if you can let go enough to get into that tension, you'll find there's a quivering energy there. That is the tension. And when you relax, that quivering energy can pervade your entire body. like electricity, but an electricity that sets you on fire with devotion and love. And then if you look deeper, you'll find an emptiness underneath that devotion and love and ecstasy. And it's so open, so whole, so holding, so comforting, that it makes the bliss and the energies in you want to expand throughout your whole body and beyond your body into the space around you. And soon you could be affecting people around you with your bliss, with your energy. Come join me in our body. We all have the same body, essentially. Submerge into our body, our awareness of our body. Go inside and feel. Feel the ecstasy that can be there if you're aware of it. Or you can generate it. You can generate it by creating sexual desire in yourself, by feeling your genitals, by imagining someone you love, for whom you feel lust or desire. And let that lust and desire inflame your genitals, your womb, your gut, and slowly rise upwards. This energy rising in you like white light, like a liquid energy flowing upwards from your genitals into your gut, then further upwards into your heart, then further upwards into your throat and into your mouth, your third eye, and into your brain. Now your brain should feel numb. No thoughts are taking place. Your brain is too dense for thoughts to permeate. And what do you feel is a joy? A joy of being free from concepts, free from truth and lies. Just feeling your body. Feel the intensity in your body, the aliveness in your body, the sense of being alive, the I am sense. But feel every pore in your body. Feel your fingers as they touch the chair that you're in, or touch your lap if you have them in your lap. Feel the electricity created by attention in the fingers of both hands. Feel your hands completely. Feel the electricity in them, the vibration in them. Let the vibration slowly travel up into your wrists and into your forearms, into your biceps, into your deltoids, into your back muscles, the rhomboids and all the other ones, spreading towards the spine, until your back is alight with this energy, this dancing energy, fed by the fires of your sexuality, moving upwards into your heart. In your quietness, feel your entire body. Feel the flow of energies inside. Feel the quivering energies where you have tension. These are energies being choked down. whether they're emotions you don't want to feel or something you do want to feel but don't know how. Feel the energies permeating your body. In this state where you're grasped and held by these intense energies, by bliss, by ecstasies, there's no room for thoughts. Thoughts are something to be laughed at. They have no power over you. No longer do they have power over you, because you can feel yourself directly. You don't see yourself anymore. You don't see thoughts. You feel yourself. You feel your body. You feel your sense of beingness, of just being alive. You feel that sense of emptiness, like when you first wake up in the morning, before you realize that there's a world out there, where you're just aware of your own beingness, but not yet aware of that beingness as being alive or as being Mark or Vesselina or Rolf. And in that gap before the thoughts come, feel the energy erupting in your body, upwards from your gut into your head, and with it comes thoughts. And the thoughts create this false world around us, the conventional world, the mundane world. But when you can feel the bliss throughout your body, the energies throughout your body, swirling around your heart, upwards into your brain and around into your brain, going up that tube in the center of your body, from your vagina or genitals to your brain, you feel the cascading energy coming upwards, making you come alive. There's no thoughts, just ecstasy. If you practice this over and over and over again, you'll be able to go into the greatest samadhi you could know of such utter peace and bliss at the same time. But it has to be learned. It's not something you can do in a minute, or in an hour, or in a day. And the easiest way is to fall in love with somebody, because then the energies come all by themselves. Fall in love with somebody. That's the highest teaching. That's relational spirituality. It's no longer doing it yourself spirituality, of doing self-inquiry or doing private meditation on emptiness or watching your thoughts or feeling your breath. In relational spirituality, you see somebody that stirs something in you. Like when I first saw Janet and Janet saw me. Janet giggled and tripped over a step and giggled again. Or when I first saw Dia at a hotel through two glass doors, and she looked at me and I looked at her, and I felt this deep love. It aroused me completely. In a moment, I knew she was so powerful to me. And when you can feel that in another person, you're actually seeing or feeling the life force in that other person. You're feeling the life force in that other person with the life force in you. And by loving that life force in another person, the life force in you is learning that love is its own true nature. I look at you and feel love. But I am that love. That love is mine. I've created it. You're only a trigger for it. The trigger of the appearance of a life force in somebody else. That's why adults, mature people, never want to kill anything. Not even a bug, not even a fly or an ant. Because we feel the life force in that ant and we respect it and love it. So rather than kill an ant or a spider, we capture it and take it outside. Or like Dia, you make a pet of a grasshopper or a cricket. And when it dies, you try to bring it back to life because she felt the love of the cricket for her. And she loved it back. And try to use her powers, her control over the energies to bring the cricket back to life. That's what people do when they feel the life force inside of themselves and they know that they themselves are divine, that the life force in them that is manifesting as Michael Hall or Sebastian or Spencer is exactly the same life force as manifested in those different people. Everybody else here manifests the same life force. In a sense, it's a universal life force, but it has a particular flavor in each of us. In Mark, it's different than in me, and it's different in VJ. Each one of us has a different body, a different history, a different temperament, a different neurons. And each of us feels the life force differently, interprets it differently because we have a mind. But if we have no mind, we get closer to feeling it exactly the same way as everybody else does. And then we can worship a cat, or we can worship a dog. We can worship Vesselina. We could worship Stevie. We could worship Max or Rosemary. We worship the life force in each other. And by worshiping it in each other, we feel it in ourselves explosively as love, devotion, and surrender. So much so that we would want to die just to be of use to that other person. Total devotional love. That total devotional love, if we can feel it and manifest it and express it totally, is the last step before God realization. Because when God in us, the universal life force, feels that in us, as Nisargadatta says, it is pleased and reveals itself to you in this full form. Just like Krishna revealed himself to Arjuna in his true divine form. So God reveals himself to you as the life force in you and as around you everywhere, as Shakti. And as the life force in everybody else is also the same, but they don't know it. Only you who have realized God realizes that life force in you is God, and God is always in you, you as a person, personality, always has God with you, as you and as the other within you, as the universal aspect within you, or Atman and Brahman within one person. Both are there for realization. The spirit as it is you individually, and the spirit as it is God manifest in all of us and throughout the universe. And the quickest way to this is to love another. All other paths are so long in comparison. The path of self-inquiry is so long and boring. The path of prayer is even longer. The path of self-knowledge is long, indirect, and you can become lost so easily. Most people that pursue the path of knowledge are just wallowing in concepts like the Neo-Advaitins, no separate self, and all those words that they use. They learn and they think that's it. You just know that there's no separate self, and that's all you have to do. That's the end of the trip. There's nothing more to be done. No meditation, no nothing. But the path of love, of devotion and surrender. For you, Vesselina, it might be your new cat. To love your cat and love the life force in the cat. Love with all your heart. Bow to the cat. Love the cat. And in it, feel the devotion inside of yourself. Feel it wash your heart, wash your brain, wash your belly. Your devotion. Feel your devotion. It brings you alive. It brings you energy. It brings you love. And when you can truly love like that, love so deeply that you would die just to be with that person, to be in their presence, to be touched by them, to be held by them, to be at their feet, kissing their feet, holding their feet. When you can feel that depth of that devotion, you're only a hairbreadth away from God realization. And He will come to you. God will come to you and worship you and show you His life force, His form, His true form as God. This is how it happened to me and to many others. This is how it happened to Ramakrishna. This is how it happened to Robert, although it happened to him unconsciously, but he's felt that he had the same experience. So, I bring you a story of no stories. Get them all out of your head. Throw all the knowledge out. It's all bullshit. There is no truth. There's no truth about the deep state. There's no truth about politics. There's no truth about Trumpism, except that he's showing you how malleable truth is. That 60 million people can believe his constant lies and take it as truth. That shows you how weak truth is. And instead, bow to yourself. Be quiet and feel the life force in you. Feel the energy in and around your heart. Feel the energy rising from your genitals. Have them move upwards into the heart and then into the brain. Play with the energies. Circulate the energies. Have fun with the energies. And then love somebody with all your heart. Total devotion. And if you can't do that right away, just keep plugging away. And someday it'll happen, either with somebody new or somebody you've known forever that suddenly takes on a new appearance to you. Isn't this what Christianity is all about? Original Christianity? Coming to God through loving Jesus. He doesn't even have to be real. It just has to be an idea in your head to love. To feel that devotion. To feel that surrender to Him. To feel that surrender to God. It's such a precious moment to let go of yourself. So much that you could die and feel pleasure in dying for your God. That's how the Christians were able to survive, or not survive, death in the arena. Because for them, it could have been ecstatic to die for Jesus and to die for God. And you can find ecstasy in dying for whoever you love. I love you all. That's my pledge. I care for you all. That's my pledge. I just want to show you the quickest way to endless bliss and a constant transformation of spiritual evolution once God shows himself or herself to you. Then everything is automatic and unfolding. The blisses come, the blisses go. New realizations come and they go. You keep evolving and changing. You keep growing. You keep moving. And it's endlessly unfolding. It's like Robert said, the power that knows the way takes you and carries you to ever-growing depths, ever-growing understanding, ever-growing letting go of truth in the mind and understand directly with the heart, your heart. God bless you all. God bless you all, including Enrique, Mari, and all the Michaels here, and the Maxes and Stevie. Stevie knows exactly what I'm talking about. Maria, Angela, Shane. Sebastian, BJ, Rosemary, Arijan. It's hard for me to pronounce. Eric, and Mark, Spencer, Barty. Are there any questions? Does everybody or anybody feel the energies and bliss I feel right now circulating throughout the Sangha? Vasilina, do you feel it? Stevie? Mark? Not so much, huh? Rosemary? You feel it? Spencer? Are there any questions? Mari, as the new person on the block, do you have a question or an answer?
I can say hello.
Hello. Who are you?
I don't know.
Well, who does Mari think she is?
I think it's really hard to answer that question.
It certainly is. What do you feel right now?
I feel increasing relaxation. And I feel some tension in the upper body. And I feel peace.
Can you feel my love for you?
Yeah, I just felt it right before you said it.
I do love you.
And I love you.
And Mark. And Rosemary, in whatever last syllable is. And Maxie. And Stevie. And Vesselina and her new cat. Her crazy kitten. And Angela. Rolf raised his hand. Do you want to ask a question, Rolf? Rolf, you seem to be in 2 or 3 places at once. Is that because you're multiple personality? Or there's more than one Rolf? Any questions? Anybody?
I have a question.
Who's this?
That's Spencer. So you feel, a lot of the time, you feel ecstasy and bliss, but do you still ever come crashing down, like back to the real world?
Yeah, but it's not exactly a crash. It's like I come close to the mundane world, but I'm not that active in it, so it doesn't grab me. And it's real easy for me to get out of it by feeling the bliss, feeling ecstasies. Now, I know Jan Essman, who speaks about energies too, and the bliss, said that the bliss has ended for him. It went away after a few years. But in me, it's different. It's been getting stronger ever since I met Janet in 2009 or 10, whenever it was. Now it's steady, it's constant, and it radiates from me. I feel like it's radiating out of me all the time, or much of the time. Especially during satsang, it becomes much stronger. But I am not of this world anymore. You're smiling. You want to leave this world too?
Yeah, I do.
I don't blame you. This world sucks. It's a violent world. It's a stupid world filled with trumps, ignorance, violence. But after God shows himself to you, everything changes. Everything changes. Because you're no longer in a body in the world. Your spirit in the body that perceives the world. And the world takes on entirely different meaning when you're not identified with the body so much anymore, but with spirit in you, the life force in you, the love in you. Anybody else?
Hi, Ed.
Michael T.
Yes. That which you're projecting, is that Shakti and consciousness, a combination of both? Because I feel like Saturday's the end of my 6-day work week. And when I listen to your satsang, I feel what you're projecting grows on me. And
Yes.
It grows, and I feel it stronger after we stop, and then it goes through the week.
Good.
And it
That's
gets
wonderful.
me into gear. It gets me into the gear where I can actually get into the proper mindset so I can feel more toward my spirituality. When I don't have that, when I don't show up, it's extremely hard to get into that kind of gear.
Yes, it is constantly radiating from me, this bliss and this energy, especially during satsang. Especially during satsang. It's like I'm a radio tower broadcasting radio waves, and the receiver in you is catching them and storing them like electricity to be played out during the rest of the week. Or a Tesla coil radiating lightning. But for me, it feels incredibly blissful. And I radiate it to you to give everybody a sense of what it feels like. And it's hard. I also try to radiate the sense of devotional love. I just have to remember anybody that I've loved strongly. And I get into it, devotional love. And how that feels to be throwing oneself at the feet of another, worshiping her, holding her feet, kissing her feet. Being entirely collapsed like a puddle. I remember the first time it happened to me. I felt I was next to Janet, and we were both at the feet of God, who was a huge figure on a throne. And we were both surrendered to his feet. And he was like 100 feet tall. I couldn't even see anything above his knees. And all both of us wanted to do was to have God step on us and crush us underneath his foot. And we gladly died, just giving him support. And in that kind of devotion, like Robert, when he took off all of his clothes and threw himself at Ramana's feet, and he said, this is how you have to feel, totally surrendered. Totally devotional surrender. That's all you have to do. No more practice, no more self-inquiry. Nothing like that. Just throw yourself at the feet of another. Any other questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Who's that? I can't see. Oh, yes. Rosemary. Rosemary, you've changed it. Huh?
Yeah, it's easier. So
Yes,
Rosemary.
Some feedback. Where's this feedback coming from?
Yeah, from Eric's computer.
Ralph, can you turn your microphone off?
Yeah. So I have a strong, weird kind of headache, and it started something before the session. And I'm wondering, because it's a strange sensation in my brain, I describe it as a headache, but I have now the feeling it's kind of rewiring in my brain.
Does it feel, does your brain feel very dense?
Compressed.
Compressed.
Like,
does it feel heavy?
yeah, too heavy. Strange. It's
And
not
the
a normal
thoughts are
headache.
hard to get to penetrate it?
When you say, do you have questions? I had no questions. It was blank.
Yes.
There was nothing to think about it.
Good.
Now that there is some talking going on, the normal thoughts are coming back. But before, there was nothing.
Good. You become dumb as a rock.
Yes.
That's the way. Dumb as a rock and surrendered in love.
Yeah. And stupid smiling, like those things.
That's very advanced. Stay dumb. Get rid of the concepts. The concepts help you not. They just tie you to this mundane world where everybody's tied to the same concepts. Get out of them by stopping thinking, by getting as dumb as a rock, by sinking into your body. You sink into your body and the energy goes out of your brain. It feels like it's getting heavy and it's solid, and it goes into your heart and your gut, and you're an entirely different person. Well,
Yeah.
I've shot my wad. I've said all that I'm going to say. I love you all. I love you all. Feel that. That's one of the greatest things that happened to me with Janet, was I knew how strongly she loved me. And she would say it in a soft, husky voice. I love you. I love you. I love you. And something happened after she did that, maybe for 3 or 4 weeks. One day I really heard what she was saying. And I felt for the first time in my life I had been really loved by a woman. And I felt complete. I felt complete in a way I had never felt before. It's very healing to hear that I love you. And to know somebody really sees you, knows you, and loves you. It's the end of a long, long time of feeling alone, unseen. Of course, Mary then yawned while I was saying that. But I'll see you all next week at the same time if you come. Muhammad showing me his cat. I love you all. Next week. Bye-bye.